If you were to go back 66 million years, you would see an ankylosaurus suffering from cataracts. Although it couldn't see anything clearly around it, it had an extremely sharp sense of smell. With this advantage, it could not only find sources of water and its own food, but also fight back against any dinosaurs that tried to bully it. Meanwhile, in order to improve their child's hunting skills, a pair of Tyrannosaurus rex parents encouraged their child to go hunting alone. But the little one overestimated its own ability and set its sights on that ankylosaurus. This was basically a death wish. The ankylosaurus saw that its opponent was a newborn baby Tyrannosaurus, and at first it didn't put up any resistance, instead repositioning itself and displaying the armor on its body, hoping to scare the baby Tyrannosaurus away. However, the baby Tyrannosaurus thought the ankylosaurus was afraid. It jumped onto the ankylosaurus's back, preparing to kill it. But unfortunately, because the ankylosaurus's armor had no weak spots at all, the baby Tyrannosaurus simply couldn't find any vulnerable point, so it turned its attention to the ankylosaurus's tail club. This move shocked the two troodontids watching nearby. The little one took the first bite and nearly lost its front teeth. When it tried to bite a second time, it was struck hard by the ankylosaurus's tail club. The little one collapsed on the ground in pain. As it barely recovered, it turned its aggression toward the two troodontids who had been mocking it from the side, as if to vent its anger on them. At the same time, a 6-foot-wide asteroid was rapidly falling toward Earth, and the animals of Earth had no idea that a disaster was about to strike. In order to catch the two troodontids, the young T-Rex chased them into a cave, and at that very moment, with a thunderous roar, the massive asteroid struck the Yucatan Peninsula in the Gulf of Mexico. The tremendous impact created a crater 160 kilometers wide and 30 kilometers deep. The force of the impact was equivalent to 1 billion nuclear bombs and triggered a massive tsunami several hundred meters high. The surrounding air heated up instantly and soon ignited the entire northern hemisphere. This was followed by massive earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. Nearly the entire planet was covered in a cloud of dust. This impact event completely destroyed Earth's food chain. Plants that could no longer receive sunlight quickly withered and died. The young T-Rex, being inside the cave, was lucky enough to survive, but at this moment, it felt completely lost. Looking around at the hellish scene, it missed its parents more and more. However, when it returned to its once familiar home, it found that its parents had long since perished. But the disaster was not yet over. As temperatures dropped, a doomsday winter had already arrived. Aside from a few dinosaurs barely hanging on, the mammals that had taken shelter underground also survived. Seeing the appearance of prey, the T-Rex hatchling could not suppress its curiosity and once again wanted to display its predatory skills. But it ended up falling off a cliff, and just like that, it followed its parents and left this world. The complete collapse of the food chain brought near total extinction to the dinosaurs. Only those creatures with extremely strong adaptability were able to survive. As one of the most intelligent species of dinosaurs, the troodontids had not yet gone completely extinct. But how long could such a situation last? Many dinosaur eggs in the family still needed to hatch, but at that time, there was hardly any food to be found in the outside world, and the increasingly harsh environment plunged these dinosaurs into helplessness. A pair of troodontids endured countless hardships and finally found a safe cave to serve as their new home. The mother then went out in search of food, while the father stayed behind to protect their unhatched offspring. At this point, the only edible things might be those extremely resilient insects. The troodontid mother wandered for an unknown amount of time and eventually found the body of the T-Rex hatchling that had fallen from the cliff. This gave them a glimmer of hope for survival, but how much longer could a scavenging lifestyle last? Back at home, the father was already on the verge of collapse. He kept calling out for his mate, but unfortunately, a sudden snowstorm arrived, pushing the already desperate dinosaurs into utter despair. After the snowstorm finally passed, the troodontid mother was at last able to hurry home. However, when she returned, she found her mate completely motionless. She tried to touch him, only to find that he had already frozen into an ice sculpture while protecting the eggs. At that moment, the troodontid mother had no other choice. She took the last remaining egg from the nest and returned to the side of the T-Rex hatchling's body. After observing for a while, she chose to crawl into the hatchling's wide-open mouth to keep warm. Sadly, it was all in vain. This catastrophe led to the total extinction of all dinosaurs.